I'm wondering, are you? The virus goes around and governments around the world are able to lock everything down within weeks, days sometimes. People follow the rules to prevent the spread, and yes, it should not be spread, but the numbers don't add up to the measures. When we were headed for a mass extinction and just needed to fly less, according to the Paris Agreement on climate, nothing happened. No one seemed to care, and Greta was talking to walls as the world made money. When millions of people were killed by environmental droughts and wars, whole population eradicated, traumatized, and sent on the track of becoming unwelcome refugees, nothing happened as the world made money. Something is fishy, and I wonder. Essential workers now celebrated in the news are people that were ignored and abused, their budgets cut, and their shifts beyond the labor laws. Now they work even harder shifts without sufficient protection, and TV responds with ads to thank the cleaners. Yet the unessential workers get all the government funds in crisis. Don't the word unessential give an indication about what governments deem unessential? Who decides? The pipeline in northern Alberta is still being constructed. That gives one indication about government's essentials. Yet sports and schools are closed as unessential. Wouldn't it make sense to give everybody basic income and give these essential workers hazard pay? Something does not add up, and I wonder. The hospitals get fuller, and there comes a time that people in charge will call the shots on who gets in and who goes back home, if you have a home. Now people are turned away because of age, but a homeless shelter is converted to a hospital because the hospital does not take homeless people. People have died because they did not have insurance. Who are these people in charge? And to whom do they need to justify their life and death decisions? Is it random or aimed at the poor? Something is too quiet about this, and I wonder. Governments have promised and implemented relief funds of billions, money that is paid from taxes, already paid, or in the next years to be paid. The capitalistic markets allowed corporations led by far overpaid CEOs to avoid taxes, the millionaires and billionaires building mansions with the too many cars around the world, fly around in private jets and plan their trips to Mars, were celebrated as heroes, the people who made it, as examples what people, mostly men, strived for to become as them. They avoided taxes and underpaid and abused many people to gather that much money. Something is too silent around this, and I wonder. We've created a society where people are stressed and overextended, aiming to be like the rich guys, aiming for more money and status, reach for cocaine as to deal with the pressure at work, or having shitty jobs that do not cover even the basics, and then we lock down the country and all these people are at home together or alone. Isolation, boredom is the talk on the radio. And I'm wondering where all the frustrated energy goes. What will we learn about domestic violence, child abuse? And shouldn't we be asking that now before it happens? Back to normal is an insult to most people, but the new normal sounds ominous. Is this the new normal, a trend towards totalitarian regimes? The new normal is tracking everybody's movements, forcible medical treatment, involuntarily quarantine, restrictions on travel and the freedom of assembly, censorship of what the authorities deem to be disinformation. The same goes for the automation of commerce, the transition from participation in sports and entertainment to remote viewing, the migration of life from public to private spaces, the transition away from place-based schools toward online education, the decline of brick-and-mortar stores, and the movement of human work and leisure onto screens. COVID-19 is accelerating pre-existing trends, political, economic, and social. And I constantly ask myself, what are we not seeing yet, and which questions should we really ask? I'm wondering.